everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's the Los Angeles Red Dragons going up against the Bengals. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
Larry, we are in the place the folks here call the Jungle, and that's Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Tonight, we wind up Week 5 with a good battle between the Los Angeles Red Dragons and the Cincinnati Bengals. The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And a short kick taken at about the 16. They come out here in the eye. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he powers his way up past the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And the offense trots out onto the field.
And A.J. Green is an absolute playmaker on the perimeter for his team.
They'll run again with Bernard. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down? The starters on defense here for Los Angeles.
Chris Harris Jr. is not a name that rolls off the tongue quickly, but it should. He's one of the best cover corners in the league.
Here's Dalton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Now a carry. It's C.J. Anderson. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back. That's
because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
Second down following the run. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And they're going to bring him down. Back across midfield at the 45. Carlos Dunlap in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. And the O-line will have to do a better job protecting here on third down after that sack. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Going for the deep ball. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They go back to the air here after the INT. And he finds Tyler Kroft. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come out here in the eye. Dalton gives to Bernard. And some room to roam now. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Just 1 yard to go here on 2nd down. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
So it'll be 1st down here after the run. Here's Bernard, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And now to the air, Dalton. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now. Time running out here on the play clock. 3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or 2 shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Green with a catch left side. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
Ezekiel Ansah out of BYU. We call him Ziggy, and he knows where the quarterback is on every play.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Now, the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this kick will be touched down as they spot it inside the 45-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. Dalton throwing on second down. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now, after that last play, there's a Bengal down on the field. While the train... staff works on him. We'll step aside and be right back. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll run it here with Bernard. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
It's second down. Dalton looking. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen. Bernard churning, and he lost the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not only going to tip it, I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. Give him 6 on the play. And just like that, it's third down. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's L.A. with a football here as we begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 3rd and 6 here to start things out. Still in search of the first down after that last completion. Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. Over the middle, Julian Edelman. It's complete. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. They give it to Anderson. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you've got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually...
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. He'll drop to throw. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Back to the ground, Anderson. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Let's go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on third. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Josh Perry coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team.
This is caught inside the 15. A big play there for the Bengals. 52 yards. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, gets stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
Now a carry for Bernard. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Brad, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Again, here's Bernard. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Back-to-back runs that were stacked up. Offensively, now you've got to think to yourself, do we change blocking assignments? Do we change formations? Do we change looks in order to try and get the running game going?
And the dreaded 3rd and long here for the offense. 3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And Bullock will put this one through, and that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they were able to move the ball into the red zone, but they'll wind up coming away with just 3.
Yeah, 32-yarder. That's equal to an extra point nowadays, and those are no problem for an NFL kicker.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Screen play, Anderson. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
2nd down now after the pass completion. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's a carry for the fullback. This is Andy Janovich. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. Third down now following the run. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And Green with a catch left side. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. This is the fullback, Janovich, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
When you hear screen, screen, screen on defense, that's a little bit scary because you know a big play might result.
He was so ready to get to part 2 of the screen, he forgot part 1. Couldn't get the ball. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this one complete to Marcus Wheaton. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
The good signal callers will never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Out of the gun now on third down. And he's going to be taken down here. Back across midfield, 3 yards away from midfield at the 47. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is fielded at the 27. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt. Certainly not what he wanted. And the Bengals take possession. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
They go play down, and that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep... Incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
Fakes the give to Bernard. Dalton. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
On second down, Anderson. And he is going to lose yardage here. So, geez, don't you at least want your guys to get a drink of water? Probably pretty thirsty. Whatever, your wish, our command. Third quarter now. It's Marcus Wheaton now to return it. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with it. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. They'll drop the throw. And he locates Wheaton, complete. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Here we go. Green, 39.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And Amendola with a catch. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. And now they're in the hurry-up. So he makes the grab, and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
And avoids the contact by sliding. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
The fullback Janovich on the handoff. And they'll get him down right around the 16. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Now, that was a good job by the defense swarming to the football. And you know it's no cinch that you're going to be able to get the ball into the end zone against them. They're number 2 against the run. So what's an offensive coordinator to do? Check your playlist.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7.
Here we go.
Handoff comes to Anderson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. C.J. Anderson, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a start.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. A.J. Green, 76 yards. And the Bengals are going to jump back in front. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. It took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
And they'll get set here looking for the two-point conversion. Here's Dalton to throw for it. And this one incomplete. So they went for the two. They don't get it. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a two-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
And they'll try to fire up the running game with C.J. Anderson. Room here to run. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
They run again on first down. Anderson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there. And he's going to go down. Back across midfield. He's sacked at the 46. And when you go 5 wide like they just did there, you can't really max protect, can you?
No, you cannot. What you're hoping is that by going 5 wide, you're forcing the defense into coverage. And if you do that...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time.
I mean,
that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They come out here in the eye. Now Bernard. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you stop the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it.
And he's got his big tight end, Eifert, and it's a Bengal touchdown. Tyler Eifert, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Bengals add on to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern in the middle of the end zone.
And ordinarily, that's a tough spot to find because there's usually coverage to take away that portion of the field. But they found a gap, and they exploited it.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Screen play, Anderson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. And give him 9 yards on the second down screen play.
They completed the screen, but one of the things you worry about is can the quarterback get rid of the ball before he's actually tackled. So your offensive linemen have to hold up the rushers a little bit because you want to make sure you keep your guy's jersey clean throughout the game.
He'll drop to throw. Hauled in by Wheaton over the middle. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
Third and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. He'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Carlos Dunlap in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to air one out. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
You can feel the anguish all the way up here. It certainly looked like he had that one in the end zone. Open. Unable to hold on to it.
Now Dalton. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll make it a second down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held him to an okay gain.
Now back to throw. Catch here, left side, Thomas. The 20. Touchdown, L.A. Demaryius Thomas, his second touchdown on the season. And his guys have made this a one-score game now.
Big score, first step in their attempt to climb back into this game.
Yes, but still some work to do as they get within a score here. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Here comes Johnson on the return. start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They come out here in the eye. A first down carry here for Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. And now to the air, Dalton. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Time is starting to run out, really becoming a factor. We'll see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back to the offense.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Now, defensively here, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try to pass on 4th down. Dalton. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And as a result, possession switches hands. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
And leading here late, so a chance for the defense to really close out this game if they can halt the offense. Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Thomas, the lone receiver, left.
Here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Green's got it over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. The offense certainly looking to score some points, but they also need ball security here late as we get down to the final moments of this one. So the offense has it 1st and 10. So the D-line's going to spread out. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. 15 yards through the air on a 1st down. He's back to throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and it'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage. 3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. Back to throw. And this is caught. Demaryius Thomas. A good pickup there of 20 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They'll look to throw. That's caught at the 3. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And here we go on 1st and goal. They'll run. Here's Janovich, the fullback. And now the Bengals are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. defense working with a second and goal now from the 3. Now Anderson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. C.J. Anderson with time running out. And his guys have taken the lead here in the 4th. And they will line up now for the 2-point try. They'll try and throw for it. And no, it's incomplete. So they can't convert for 2, but they still have the lead as we get toward the end of the 4th. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take